All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are back taking a look at the tropics. Today is Monday, August 16th, 2021. This is a quick morning update. We're just going to get the wave tops in on the latest on Tropical Storm Fred, now moving very close to landfall along the western Florida Panhandle. And then quick updates on Tropical Depression Grace, located near the southern edge of the Dominican Republic, and Tropical Depression 8 still swirling near Bermuda. So we'll kind of go in the same order. We'll start with Fred. Latest forecast of the National Hurricane Center this morning. Fred's winds have increased to 60 miles an hour and is moving to the north at 10 miles an hour. The system looking a little bit healthier today as it is continuing to move to the north. Forecast track has shifted just a little bit back to the east. Fred's center this afternoon, not too far from the Florida coastline, kind of near Mexico Beach and Panama City, Florida, the site of Hurricane Michael a couple years ago. But obviously, Fred not nearly as strong. Kind of has some dry air wrapping into the storm, and intensification efforts have been up and down this afternoon or this morning. Hurricane hunters flew the storm earlier and found a central pressure down 993 millibars, but then their next few passes, all these dots representing like they kind of fly in like these cross patterns, and all those dots indicating another pressure, about 994 millibars. So Fred had strengthened overnight, but right now probably being bothered by dry air. You can see the radar from Mark Nissenbaum site at Florida State University. You can see all of those heavy rain bands already moving ashore. The core of Fred still just offshore, located right about here, and there is definitely evidence of dry air as these dry slots are both north of the eye. The partial eye wall he has formed right here, and also the bottom half of the core now completely exposed. This is probably going to limit intensification at the end here, and Fred should move ashore in a few hours as about a 60 to 65 mile an hour tropical storm. So it looks like hurricane status probably not on the table this afternoon. Regardless of heavy rainfall still coming right now, Weather Prediction Center still forecasting a solid, 5 to 8 inches of rain or so still to come for the Florida Panhandle. Although some has already fallen, you can see here some of the rain bands already moving ashore, and heavy rain has already fallen this morning in some of these regions. And some of these bands like this will produce very heavy rain through the day and the evening. And again, that rain is enough to cause flooding concerns and widespread issues in that region. And then this moisture will spread northward into parts of Georgia, Alabama, eventually into the Carolinas, Tennessee, and further northward. And this rain will also be significant, 3 to 6 inches for a lot of folks coming. And that will be plenty of rain for excessive rainfall outlooks, flash flooding, and the like. So please respect it, even if you are not living at the coastline. The rainfall threat will move well inland and even up into parts of New England later in the week. So keep a close eye on that. We also have tornado watch up. Tropical tornadoes definitely usually aren't very long lived or particularly violent, but they can still be surprising and they can happen very fast. So definitely be aware that that can happen. And a tornado watch up. Likely we'll see one or two more of these as the evening goes on, and possibly even into tomorrow morning as the atmosphere continues to rotate. And storm surge still expected to be about 3 to 5 feet. Tropical storm warnings, I forget to mention, also had been extended all the way to the Steinhatchee River area. So you can see here on the surge map at 3 to 5 foot, that's basically where the tropical storm warning ends. So now pretty much most of the western Florida Panhandle, all under a tropical storm warning today, as Fred is just a few hours from landfall. So please stay safe out here. Not the biggest, baddest storm to ever hit, but definitely an issue that can cause tree damage, power lines, power outages, which can lead to generator issues. So just please stay safe in this area today as Fred moves in. We may talk again tonight, but Fred will probably be on shore by the time we do. Let's go ahead and quick hit on Tropical Depression Grace, located south of Hispaniola this morning. The center is not doing very well. It's probably just now moving ashore, but we're looking at generally a southern skirt of the island at this point. The latest forecasts have kind of pushed us down a little bit more and off to the south and west, and now it looks like more of a grazing blow. Still will be significant disruption for the storm. A lot of this convection is going to hit these tall mountains and cause issues. But the propensity or the chances of Grace getting outright destroyed is lower than it has been with this more indirect push, and it'll also keep it away from Cuba, or at least away from the direct impacts of Cuba. So over the next couple of days, the forecast track has shifted a bit south towards Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and then over some of this warm water south of Cuba. So it looks like Grace may be on the comeback eventually. The Hurricane Center's official forecast for Grace right now has this thing moving through. A lot of tropical storm watches and warnings up for most of the islands down here. And it's still a little too early to tell exactly what's going to get into the Gulf of Mexico, but the Hurricane Center's forecast track has shifted southward. It was more up like this yesterday, and today it has shifted more down towards Mexico. So I would say Texas, Louisiana, Want to keep an eye on this one, but the European model has had a significant shift southward in its model guidance. GFS was already south and has stayed that way, and the hurricane model is also kind of buying that. So right now, looking like Mexico or the Yucatan Peninsula may be more of a threat, but still remains to be seen with Grace, and we'll maybe get into the details of why. Later this evening, intensity models are also buying an increasing chance of a hurricane in a couple days out there in the Gulf of Mexico. But again, it looks like Mexico may be more on the hook than the United States will be. I'm gonna wrap up with Tropical Depression 8 located near Bermuda. No major changes this morning. Hasn't intensified to a tropical storm, but should become Henry later this afternoon. The system has had some northerly wind shear impinging on it, and that is forecast to continue for the next couple of days. You can see all the thunderstorm activity well to the south of the center, which is probably right here. So definitely a decoupled, sort of misaligned storm. Hurricane Center does still forecast this to sort of loop around Bermuda. It looks like tropical storm watches are still in effect for Bermuda, but this loop a little more far away. So it looks like the fringe effects will be, and most of the weather will be on the south side of the storm throughout its life. So Bermuda probably not going to get much from this, but Henry's still going to be swirling around. There's still some forecast uncertainty as Henry moves southward. If the system becomes strong, it may be able to push closer to the eastern United States, but it also could very well just get destroyed. There's going to be a high pressure system over the next few days that's going to be imparting a pretty strong north northeast flow, and this is only going to increase in the coming days. So the question really is Henry able to actually strengthen as it loops before it gets completely destroyed by the shear? Some models do have a hurricane in this part of the Atlantic in a couple days. Other models like the GFS just simply have the storm get ripped apart and fall apart, and then the swirl of the low level storm just runs off. So we'll keep watching Henry, but we have a couple days to do so. No major impacts expected right now, and even looks like Bermuda may be getting out of it. So that's what I got for you guys this morning. We'll maybe talk again this evening. As always, thanks for watching. Have a good one.